Can you, in Constant Bug's voice, tell us about when you lost your virginity?
Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes!
That's a good question.
Well, I had a baby carrot, then it grew into an adult-sized carrot.
All right, everyone, welcome back to a very, very special segment of the Hot Seat, because today we have in the Hot Seat Mr. Eric Bauza.
Yeah! It's hot. The seat is hot.
So just so you know, you've been on a hot seat before?
I have not been on a hot seat in a while. I have a very cold ass, so
Nice,
I'm ready
nice.
for this.
So basically, we're just gonna fire some questions at you. Obviously, we might get a little bit steamy, but before we do that, we're gonna start extremely dry and cold with our man over there, Mr. Bart Kwan.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
And what's up, Bart?
Nothing much.
Jeez.
If you could make a sandcastle of any tragic event, which one would it be?
Oh my god. I would have to say the Titanic.
Very good choice.
I was kind of oddly obsessed with the Titanic as a kid. I don't know.
The movie?
Well, especially the movie. But Billy Zane, you know, I love Billy Zane. I'm a huge Billy Zane fan. Not a Leo fan, but a Billy Zane fan.
That's who you like.
Billy Zane in a wig, always good.
That was the first time I saw Titty at a theater.
Really?
City of the theater.
I think mine was Tango and Cash with my mom and my aunt, of all people.
Oh, shit.
Gross.
My cousins took me to the theater and I saw tits and they were like, what are we gonna tell his parents? But this is about you. Let's go.
Yeah. It's quite the hot seat question. But yeah, I remember getting this book as a kid, and it was like the details of the Titanic and what had happened. And I was like, should I be reading this? It's kind of tragic. But I just remember the images, and it was like very tastefully done, like oil painting, like images of the events of the Titanic.
Oh, painting of an iceberg.
The crashes.
Yeah, of the cry of people like in lifeboats and kids and women and people in the water, and long before the movie came out, and I was just so fascinated by it.
By people dying and drowning and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's really weird.
You're in the like voice acting field, which I think for a lot of people, that's already outside of the normal like traditional job, right? It's like not engineer or doctor, or whatever. As a kid, what was your dream job?
I think it was I knew at least by the 8th grade that I wanted to work in animation.
Wow.
How did you even know that was a job? 8th grade.
Well, because I remember getting the this book, and again, it was not the Titanic book. I'm moving away from tragedy to it was like the art of Disney, and it profiled almost every piece of animation from like, you know,
Like even the old school black and white one.
the one with the dinosaur. I always forget the name. That's how much of a.
The Land Before Time?
Even before that, I think it was like Gertie the dinosaur or something, and it was like the very first time we ever saw like a moving animated image, and it was like from that all the way up until like Beauty and the Beast, I think, was the movie. It was like Little Mermaid, then
Beauty and the Beast was like the modern one at the time.
That was the one, because
Yeah.
I remember the next year they released the same book, but like with like Aladdin or whatever. So I remember just seeing images of people at their desks, and like, you know, they would be in a room like this, and they would be with like a pointer stick, kind of like going through storyboards.
Definitely couldn't have been a room like this.
It was very similar to a room like this, and you would be surprised how many times you've probably driven by an animation studio or sound recording studio in this city and not even known it was there the whole time. But yeah, I remember looking at that book and going, oh wow, there's grown-ups, you know, like making this stuff. And I always thought that was probably what I'm going to do when I'm older. But I didn't know how I was going to get into it or how it would lead to voiceover. That was completely...
So you knew it was like the industry you wanted to get into, but you didn't know what specific job.
Right.
So it's like I could draw, I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah, because most people would know, like, go to school for theatrical dramatic arts if you want to be an actor. I didn't know that. I didn't know, like, to be a voice actor, I didn't know that's, you know, it all starts with good acting. So what if I could do wacky voices? That gets you to the door, but what keeps you in the room is the good acting, the believability of this character that you're trying to portray.
When did you know you were good at animation and drawing?
As a kid, I was always the one in class where everyone, if there was a project that involved art or drawings, I would always be the one where other kids would be like, "Can you draw this for me?" Or like,
You were that kid?
"I'll give you a Twinkie if you draw this." And clearly, I work with Twinkies, but yeah, it was even teachers. They were like, "Can you draw the program? Can you?" I did a caricature of the
Teachers
entire.
are soliciting your skills.
Yes. Teachers before
Grade these papers for me.
long before
The art teacher.
before Me Too movement, I was being abused by teachers. No, I'm just kidding. I had nothing but support from my teachers growing up as a kid, even in high school. Like almost everyone has like a bad experience in either elementary school or high school or college. I've had nothing but pure luck when it's come to, people knew that I was distracted easily, but instead of scolding me for that, they would say, "Go do the morning announcements." So I would do the announcements.
That's at public schools?
Yeah, Catholic public school.
Wow.
You were just doing the wacky voices.
All the time. I was making fun of teachers. I was
Wow,
I
that's so
was
cool.
a valedictorian in high school, and I should have not. There were like so many.
But because they liked your voice?
They were like, "Do we want to be bored by like a couple nerds or like entertained by this kid?" And they picked me, and I was doing like impressions of all the teachers and stuff, and I don't know. It was wild.
Was there ever? Sorry. Did you ever do a talent show or like anything like that?
I was always hosting like those shows, like for assemblies and school functions and stuff. I was always making videos. There's I have them all still on VHS. Like I was editing and shooting video, and yeah, like there's always a kid. We always knew a kid in school that did that or gravitated towards it. I imagine that's what you guys, you guys are entertainers. You guys are all the same. We're all freaks here. So
We copied just people we knew, but you copied the greatest.
well, I mean, but still, you're here. I'm on your show, by the way. I'm just a guest here. I'm not the host. So
I feel like, how did we even get Bugs Bunny here?
Cause man,
where did you
someone said you'd pay me in lumpia, so I'm like still waiting for that.
Bart, what the hell, dude?
My mom's coming soon to bring it.
Where did you grow up?
Scarborough. So Scarborough, Ontario. This is where Mike Myers came from, John Candy, Drake.
Wow.
This is the difference between a Canadian upbringing and an American upbringing.
What's the difference?
What is it?
I'm not following.
Life is nicer. Look at his teachers are nicer.
Oh, yeah.
No
Well,
one's beating his
that's
ass
true.
every day.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know, like
I'm sure there's some amazing people here, and I mean, look, again, we're looking at you guys from our point of view.
in America?
Yeah, we're
Did you grow up thinking America was batshit crazy?
yes.
I know though. I know.
Yeah.
But I live here. I don't live. I've lived the last 15, 20 years here.
So when have you used your impression skills that got you in trouble?
Ooh, in trouble.
In trouble?
In trouble. Probably like prank calls, I guess. Oh yeah.
So good.
When does that even exist anymore? I was a huge fan of the Jerky Boys, if you guys remember.
Yeah.
That's this is Kerpal, right? I kicked your dog. You kicked.
That's in that same era. I remember that. I remember Kerpal. Yeah.
Fuck you. Do not tell me fuck you.
Did you do a lot of prank calls growing up?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Cause man, I love those.
I mean, just I wasn't specifically a voice. I guess it was just like anything.
I did them as yourself.
Yeah.
He just likes prank calling.
Eric, is that you?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I don't even remember a time where I was caught for doing that and got in trouble. That's a good. I might have to come back and think about that. It's a very interesting question. Gotten in trouble.
Has there ever been a time where you're like, man, I don't want to keep doing this job or this?
Oh man, for me, like, I think, and you guys can agree, it's like this industry will never tell you to stop or take a break. It's almost like you can't, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you stop,
It's
someone else is gonna do it.
Like, it feels like you're always not doing enough.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you guys are like, it's the Wild West right now. It's self-sustained. You have like amazing equipment in here. You guys have amazing editors and like production value and stuff, and no one's telling you to stop, right? It's like
no, we burnt out and then we fell off.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Shit.
We've been online for about 16 years, man, with no breaks.
No breaks.
Yeah.
and no one's
Just
telling
breakups.
But I'm not complaining. It's fucking hilarious.
Exactly.
It's
I mean,
fun.
we get to do what we love for a living. And,
This is my break from my other things that I do now.
right.
So this used to be my main thing, but now it's like I do other things. I come here and I'm like, thank God I'm here with you guys.
I think that's the ultimate doom, right? Is like when you start feeling like, and this is how it started feeling at the animation job that I had, was I felt like like the lettuce guy at Taco Bell. Like someone would hand me a taco and I'd be like, okay, here's the lettuce. Here's hand it to the tomato guy. And that's kind of how animation felt, because I was the guy that was, I would get a script and a storyboard and I would have to draw like the final poses of someone and then hand that off to an animator and they would make that character move.
Very assembly line almost.
Yeah, and that's what I miss the most about working in animation is the camaraderie, right? It's being around people that like all we would do is, like get trashed on Fridays and like show up to work late, leave late, send each other dumb videos over chats. You're at this desk for like 8 hours drawing.
Yeah.
Negotiate the deadline over.
Yeah, oh my God, go get a coffee break.
So this is the 10-minute, 52-second portion of the video where we start turning up the heat on our questions and stuff like that.
God,
I know
okay.
Kristen's got a really great question for you.
Of course she does.
I have a good one for you. Have
right.
you ever used your voices in the bedroom?
In the bedroom, like, what do you mean? Like, when I make my bed in the morning?
Yeah.
Once you bust, you're like, blip, 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 blip. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Can you do that? Can you do that?
I mean,
Say my volcano blue and then
I might not ever use that voice again, but you are recording it. That's good. I mean, there's 3 cameras here and a phone.
No, we're not recording.
About me and Porky is that we both only wear a jacket with nothing else underneath. That's it. And a bow tie, no pants.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
To the ladies, yeah. But I don't think I have, and I think that,
No one's ever asked you. Like,
Never.
No, never. I haven't dated anyone that kinky or that daring.
so you never had an animation groupie? And they're like, "Ooh, do the voice." Animation groupie. Yeah, animation groupie.
Right away.
Super wet.
Yeah.
Right away, obviously, with my first answer of obviously maybe I have, but it was never like that. It was never like, hey, can you do the voice while I'm,
Has anyone ever asked you?
when I'm about to harambe?
Has anyone ever asked you to do a voice that doesn't exist? Like, oh, can you please do the Wile E. Coyote voice?
Yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, and I'll just draw it out for them.
Has there been a time that you were super frustrated that you couldn't get the voice right?
Yes. I mean, again, like,
Wile E. Coyote.
I would say, well, Bugs, but also like, I was like, 2012 they rebooted Ninja Turtles, and I was maybe the 3rd or 4th person to voice Raphael in the pilot.
Oh, wow.
And then later they're like, well, we really enjoyed, and I also did like a live event, like all the things were leading up to like me voicing Raph, and then I got switched out.
Last minute.
With this young actor by the name of Sean Astin. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. He was in Lord of the Rings. He was Mikey from Goonies. He's a very famous actor.
Oh, yeah.
And a super nice guy. And did a hell of a job as Raphael.
But you're like, fuck this guy.
But he wasn't like, you gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite versions of Raph, is the live action.
I don't like the new Ninja Turtles, how they changed them. I like the surfer guys that I grew up with.
Right, the classics. I mean, I think that they have to change it, I guess, because, I'm gonna get like more business in a sense where like they want to make new toys, they want to make stuff different, they have to keep, and like Taylor Swift, right? They have to keep reinventing or whatever to kind of maintain those rights, or to kind of, I don't know, just to keep things different.
I'm gonna disagree with you because they didn't do that to Mickey.
Mickey.
They haven't
Mickey.
reinvented Mickey Mouse.
No, but like they didn't fucking make. Okay, so the difference is they kept Mickey cute. They didn't make Mickey all buff and shit with veins popping out, looking all weird and shit. Like, that's what they did to the Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles, they were cute, cool ninjas, man. And then they put them on steroids.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the hell's going on? They don't belong in a fucking
Super jacked.
They don't like it's a bodybuilding show now.
Well, yeah. Again, well, they're mutants, right? So like they might have mutated into bigger, badder, you know.
But they look like a throbbing boner. I don't like that. I just want to see a Ninja Turtle
Nice
that I grew
flaccid
up on.
turtle.
How different?
Yeah, a flaccid turtle.
How different was that other guy's Raph to yours?
Well, definitely, I loved his performance, Sean's performance as Raph, because he has that kind of naturally, kind of gruff, kind of husky sounding voice, you know, and that's kind of the attitude that they were aiming for that character, and it was natural. You know what I mean? I may have been putting, actually, I think this is actually one of the notes was that at the time, Jason Biggs from American Pie was voicing Leo. And my voice, my natural voice print was kind of similar to his. That edge kind of sound. And I was trying to be a little bit more gruff and act in a different way, which was different from how he was acting.
Yeah, your voice does sound like Jason Biggs' voice.
But at the end of the day, the edge of my voice sounds a lot similar to his.
Oh, they wanted something different.
Yeah, and if you listen to Sean Astin, he has like this really kind of, the way he talks is so much different than. But it's funny because Jason Biggs ended up getting switched out with Seth Green, which later was so different from everyone else. So again, it's sometimes you can't get mad at not getting a voice because it's not really politics, it's just how the chemistry works and all that stuff. And even with Bugs, like I auditioned for Bugs, and it was literally 10 years had gone by until they auditioned him again, and then that's when I booked it. So I think if there are young voice actors, performers out there, it doesn't have to be voice, it'll come around. When one door closes, three open.
We got to turn up the heat even more because I feel like this is just a very.
It was a
nice
disappointing
hot
answer for you. I'm
okay,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm gonna lie and say all the ladies I've dated, I've done so many voices in the sack that I can't even have an erection now without going. Woody
That's what
Woodpecker.
we want.
Woody Woodpecker.
All right, can we do this?
That's gonna be passed around a lot on Twitter tomorrow.
You could say no, but I'm sure you won't say no. Can you, in constant Bugs voice, tell us about when you lost your virginity?
Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes.
Good question.
I mean, you do have a son, so we're pretty sure.
Yeah, you can't lie.
Yeah.
This is a story that you can tell him.
Just use euphemisms.
Yeah.
Well, I had a baby carrot, then it grew into an adult-sized carrot.
No, and then I'll stop there. I want to keep the job. I feel like I just got here. And they'll let me say that, and then they're like, have you said anything further? Yeah.
Oh, damn, that would have been.
I will. Yeah. Oh boy. I was like, wow.
Have you ever dealt with like having to tell your parents what you do for a living, and then like them just like being, what is that?
Well, I think at the beginning they were like, so you're gonna do what?
Like, you draw cartoons all day?
Again, they knew what kind of kid I was growing up, and I don't think it was a surprise. And I was also very nurtured by an uncle, my mom's eldest brother, who was like the first family member on that side to immigrate from the Philippines to like Canada. And he was like, it's too fucking cold here. So he moved to LA, and he passed away like last year, unfortunately. But he was the guy that was like always sending me clippings of like, hey, look at this. Like,
Come to LA.
yes.
Oh.
Always. And I have all those clippings still. And it's crazy.
Like newspaper clippings?
LA Times, I was always like, he would date it and like, send a couple bucks if he could, and just be always like the guy that was like, hey, you're gonna move here one day, and you're gonna work in this industry. And it wasn't even like a question.
Wow. Did he work in the industry, or what did he do?
He worked in like real estate and owed the IRS a lot of money.
Like all agents.
Have you ever been approached to do a voice acting job that you were like either not down for or uncomfortable to do? Or
Yes. If you like Japanese hentai.
Oh, I love it.
Holy shit, for real?
yeah, he does all the girls.
If you just click back on your browser to what you were watching yesterday, it's probably me. Just other roles that maybe like unspoken should be done by a certain person or whoever has held it the longest, but at the end of the day, as performers, it's not up to us as actors who decides who plays who. It's up to the people producing it and writing the stories and directing the stories and who are casting these roles that make those decisions. So yeah, there's definitely been roles in the past, legacy characters anyways, where I've tried to stay away, but I've been asked so many times over and over again to perform these characters. So.
Oh, that must feel awesome. Where you're like, I ain't gonna touch that, and then they're like, please,
yeah,
I need somebody. Nobody can do it but you.
Where I've done, and that's a really good Roger Rabbit.
Thank you.
I heard it.
I don't know what I was doing, but yeah.
We're gonna get a copyright strike now.
Yeah, but yeah, like there have been moments where I've actually backed away and turned down, and it was like literally like a month or two had gone by, and they're like, we're not gonna work with anyone. We only want to work with you.
Wow. Does that mean like you could go, well, I'll do it for another $1 million?
Well,
you come back and ask for more?
That's not even even in my mind at that point. It's just
you're such an artist.
For me, it's still like the respect and kind of just like knowing who was there before you and But it's not up to me. I'd rather at that point I'm like, well, I want to make it good at least. Like if they're not going to work with so and so, and they want to work with someone, like I'd rather it go to someone that can execute well versus like, okay, we're gonna settle on not that person, but maybe that person. I'd rather just be like, okay, look, you've tried, we tried to work things out. Clearly, it's not working out. I'll step in and do the job.
Oh wow! I have a kind of hot question. What's your thoughts on the current situation where really talented voice actors are losing work to just celebrities?
Oh yeah, I mean that's been around for.
That's hot.
It's still a hot button issue, and I thought you were actually going to go with authentic casting too, with like with racial diversity and stuff.
Since you're doing Antonio Banderas, but you're
and I'm not like authentically where he's from.
Yeah, we do have Indian Ken.
Yeah, Indian Ken. So that's amazing. Like again, I think with voiceover, it's never for me ever been about like what you look like, right? And that's the beauty of it, is that you can walk into a room and not be 6 feet, or you could be too short or too tall for a role, or too wide, or
that's what it's called, voice acting.
Right, yeah. Right. It's all about the ability to act with your voice and not about what you look like. And there are definite cases where you see a celebrity step into the role and it's amazing. And I think for me it really started with Robin Williams as the genie. Like he was a celebrity, but he was like a cartoon, man. Like
he was a great genie.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He was amazing, and like I think but not everyone can do what Robin did. You know what I mean?
That's an anomaly.
You know what I mean?
Just talented.
Yeah. Like they based everything, even the design of the character looked like Robin.
So which celebrity that stepped into voice acting, you're like, fuck this bitch.
Get them out.
That's not even skillful.
It's just obvious when like some folks phone it in. What I love,
like you could hear the phone, like the
they're driving through a tunnel. Yeah. Just like that. I like it when a celebrity comes in and they have, Tom Kenny was saying it, the guy who voices SpongeBob. He's like, there are people that do character voices like that, like SpongeBob, or people that have voices with character. So like someone like Chris Rock or Eddie Murphy or Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, they already come with
sound like something unique. Like,
Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
Fake. I found out it's all fake.
What's that? He's still alive?
He doesn't.
Oh, his
doesn't,
real voice?
He doesn't speak.
Right.
Voice is super chill.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it became so. But you know what? I think he developed that on stage, right? With stand-up. Yeah. I think that was part of his shtick.
In SNL, he didn't sound like that.
Yeah. So I think it's like when they come in with like something that is so familiar that you're like, oh, it works, like for the character. Like Eddie Murphy is in Mulan, as the dragon, Mushu.
So what would you do if you did a take and then the director was like, can you do it more like this?
Oh man, I mean, there's been...
You don't sound Chinese enough.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're pulling your eyes back enough. Again, it's authentic. It's great. It's a hot seat question.
Yeah.
I do better Vietnamese accents than Vietnamese people do.
Right? So then you should get hired for those video games where,
I should be. If there's ever a video game of fighting Viet Cong, that should be me.
there very well might be. And if they're not, after they watch this, they're gonna make Vietnamese.
But do you just like draw the line and go, I'm not gonna do that?
Yes, it's up to you. And I think like,
I'll do it.
you know, it's crazy too. It's like sometimes they'll call for you, like, oh yeah, like we need a Filipino actor, and then like you go in there, and they're like, don't do the accent, just do your normal voice. You know, there's
Then why get a Filipino guy?
They needed it
say
for
that-
the.
to say they could.
Have an accent?
Yeah, I know, right? I have a Filipino Canadian accent. Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy to know now. Like people are now paying attention to that. You know, the authenticity in not just the performing, but I like that if we're going that far down, there's authenticity in the storytelling. Like if you're gonna write a story about Filipinos growing up in LA, you better get Filipinos that grew up in LA that had that experience. You know.
Yeah, we're totally out of time. But last question, Bart loves. Would you rather fuck your mom or your dad?
All right, I'm gonna go with my brother because he's a mixture of both.
So it's both.
Thank you for sharing.
Sorry, I already knew that coming in here. I was like, who am I gonna fuck?